Hi guys, we're doing a reading of what you need to know on your spiritual journey, just so you can be more aware, and maybe you've already gone through this energy and you're just evolving from that, and it's just saying with this reading validating you and saying yes, you're on your way. And just ask your guides if this is a reading for you. Maybe ask for a sign or a feather, like, is this a reading for me? Or you just get an intuition that yes. So maybe part of this, what we come out with our cards, actually helps you. So what is it, your spiritual journey, you need to know?
So Rachel's getting a couple cards here. The first ones that I had that came out, we had our Emperor in reverse. So on this journey, there's going to be a lot of decisions that you have to make and a lot of things that are going to be presented to you. And you aren't always in control of the way that things are presented to you. You're in control of how you react to those things after they're presented. The Two of Pentacles came out as well with our Emperor, and that's about the way that we're weighing things. If we want to have these options come into our favor, we need to weigh them evenly on both sides. The decisions that we make and the way that we are going to represent ourselves on this journey is going to be very important, and it's okay to step in a hole or to folly, but make sure that when we do that, we pick ourselves back up and we don't beat ourselves down for that. We shouldn't be beating ourselves down for things that go wrong along our journey, because we also got our Two of Swords, and then for our top deck energy, we got the Knight of Pentacles. So Knight of Pentacles, if you see him there, he's kind of struggling with his decision. He has his hand out. It's kind of like an open-ended invitation, but he's concerned about what's going to come forth out of that invitation. So he's offering it, but you see his other hand, it's not visible. So is his hand behind his back? Is he being tricky about this situation? So be careful of a trickster on your spiritual journey, because there may be somebody that's trying to come in and misguide you or give you information that isn't true to you in a good way, not good for your heart and your soul.
Okay, try to scooch in here while I'm on down. But
the joys of reading in the woods.
Yeah, it's fun though. So it's like projection. You were projecting or had someone project something towards you. Maybe it's someone that you care about and you've done a lot of astral projecting to each other, and you're very energetically connected, and you're starting to piece it together that maybe in the spiritual journey that there is a significance in some relationships and people that we actually welcome into our lives. And it's definitely helped you become more mature. This is a very big change, a really positive one. And it's saying that you're on your way, you're blossoming, you've already evolved to the next phase where you're ready for something, and you're accepting that you have no control of the outcome. So you're trying to go with the flow with it. Even though it's hard, it's still asking you to just cleanse yourself, stay hydrated. Water is a very key point. And traveling is in reverse. I don't feel like you're really going anywhere. You do have aspirations to do things, but it's you got a lot of hinderment because you've also been carrying your spiritual journey is going to be a lot of burdens and a lot of lessons on how to cut those burdens out, because those people that we try to please all the time, because a lot of us are people pleasers and we try to make everybody happy, but you're human. You're not going to make everybody happy. You got to value your time too, because you are dealing with a lot of stress, or will be going with more stress, and you're going to kind of feel in that same stuck funk.
You're only human.
And we also have clinging in the past reverse. So you understand that clinging to the past is just, it's done. It's not going to be beneficial by doing anything about it. There's more celebration in calling in a soul tribe, going for a gathering, hanging out with real friends, and maybe reconnect and be these are more real people to my level. They actually understand me because they're helping you discover your true vision of yourself and a new vision that is to come. Maybe your goals, maybe the aspirations of getting to the next phase of life, because you're meant to evolve like a phoenix. You're not meant to stay in the same cocoon or anything. Spread out the wings, let the blood flow go. And even if it takes more time for you, good. Take the time to actually start evolving, because there is no lack, and that is the understanding. There is never lack, and you're not rejected, but only redirected to the right things.
Yeah, it's okay to folly. It's what we do afterwards that's really important. We got our Ace of Swords, and then we got the Joy card. So we're going back to this inner almost dreamscape, in this dream period where we're sleeping. You can see like there's all these wonders and all of these things that we want to come into fruition, and we're thinking about them when we're sleeping, but then when we wake up, we're not feeling joyful anymore. So what happens in between when we're sleeping and we're thinking that we're in this wonderful position, and then when we wake up and we're no longer joyful? That period of time, when that snap, when you wake up, you need to get yourself a dream journal and really start writing that stuff down. Spiritual journeys, that's a lot about what we cognitively think about later on, because we might get the message and then we're like, well, what does that mean? And we don't know. But if we didn't write it down, well, we're never really going to know. You have to write it down and put it in a book. So later on, you can look it up. You can remember it, especially when we first wake up. We don't remember those things. We got 2 10s, the 10 of Wands, cycle of energy, and then we also got our 10 of Pentacles, another cycle of energy. These 2 cycles on both sides, they flipped out, one in reverse, right next to each other. This is like the closing of a chapter. This is like the redirection that you've had and that you've wanted to have.
Death of ego.
You're really like, you've been struggling with it. Yeah, like shadow work is definitely needed. When we have this many 10s come up, 10 to the 10th, we want this idea of a clear path, but the clear path is never really going to be there. It's never going to be clear. Come on, guys. It's always going to be a bit of a struggle.
You're not here, there's logs.
Yeah, I mean, you got to step over the logs and the sticks, and it's okay. Again, if we step in the hole, just don't break your ankle.
Yeah, she's a voice of experience. She's done.
Please, don't break your ankle.
And this is like isolation, so it's kind of speaking on to the masculine energies. Maybe this is something you carried when you were in more masculine energy. It doesn't really matter gender, but it's saying that it's okay to express yourself. It's not necessarily a strength to hold in those emotions, even though I know a lot of us are trained and raised to think that. It's more stronger suited to cleanse that out and let it out, because I know it's barely noted, but he has tears coming down his cheeks that are full of rainbows, and those are just spiritual releases that are necessary to come out, because if we hinder those growths, it's like unnurtured seeds. You do have to water those seeds, even if it's like, yes, tears, but it's tears to heal. It's tears to cleanse and let go, and you don't have to feel like others are going to judge you when you're feeling low. Just say, I need my time alone. Like, I really need this.
Yeah.
And if they're not complying to it, those are exactly the people you have to cut out.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just about the watering of the seed. If you keep that seed in the same pot, what's going to happen? It's going to become root bound. It's not going to have the opportunity to grow. So you have to, at some point, you've got to take this spiritual journey where you're literally transplanting yourself into a new pot. You're putting yourself out there. You're leaning into the universe. You're allowing these things and these struggles that we have ahead of us to just go.
Tree.
Leaning. Is that tree?
Leaning.
When we're on these journeys, it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be difficult, but there's going to be some struggles, and how we deal with those struggles is really important. So take a deep breath. Do some meditation. Like I said, get that journal. Really write it down so that we can remember what we've done. You need to draw more
cards. Dude, I'm getting a ringing in my left ear.
We need another one.
Yep.
Okay. We'll go for another one. Yeah, we started this message actually on... Were we on my TikTok?
Yeah, we're
on my TikTok. We were on my TikTok, my Moon Shadow account, and it, like, I don't know, we needed to continue it, and Rachel's like, we should go for the YouTube.
We almost ran out of message time, and it's like, obviously this one was something that some people have to hear.
Okay.
Especially after that.
So we got the Lovers card.
Oh, wow.
Our Lovers card, so apparently right now, again, with Libra season, we're going to have a lot of past love and Gemini. Yeah, lots of air. We're going to have also past loves that are going to come up, because we got the World in reverse. So for a long time, We didn't care about opinions. We didn't care about what other people thought and the way that other people were seeing us. And then this lover came about, and this lover told us that we needed to apparently care more about the opinions of others, more so than ourselves. So that's where this card comes in again.
Someone's
This
throat
Four of
chakra
Wands.
is hella choked up, like they don't know what to say.
Like not. You were getting that too. I'm getting it from a little bit lower, so I was gonna.
It's here and like right here.
Yeah. Four of Wands came up again. He keeps echoing, and he is, I don't know why, and I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna get a stronger meaning off of it, because this guy, he's come out multiple times in my messages today, and I need to get apparently more of a message from him. Four of Wands, it's a stable card, but it's like instability with stability. So you're stabbing in,
So
you're getting
it's
these pieces,
saying-
but the yin and yang part of it with this love,
Opposites attract.
yeah, and love it, and needing to love ourselves, because the World card coming in reverse, we need to step into that winner's position.
And that is a soulmate and twin flame card too.
Yeah, they are, both of them. So this is definitely a message that needed to come forward about our spiritual journey and the way that we are seeing the people on our journey. How we're loving ourselves, how we love those people, and how we speak, because she's getting the choke up. I was getting the choke up as well. How we speak to those people and how they speak to us is going to be very important. I feel like coming up on this journey, that how that's heard and how we interpret it is going to be very, very important. So.
And other people's perception is only limited to their own vision. Like, they will not always understand you, babies. Like, it's okay not to have complete understanding, but it's the understanding that you still have loving support. And I think this person, or even you, are longing for that. It's coming. That's all I'm getting a strong download. Like, it's coming, but you got to do right by you first. And it's, all of us are challenged with that. I mean, I myself did a huge transformation with just doing readings online. Like, I used to hate my voice. I used to be I'm my own worst critic, as much as
I think
all
everybody
of that
is, really. I mean, seriously.
But it's like,
We
it
all
can
are.
come from an even lower vibrational source, and that's what you have to break away from. And even if it's loving people we care about and we break away from, clearly there is some healing there. And whether it's like something you choose for union or not, it's still something that you are going to receive. I'm not saying like, oh, someone from your past is wanting to reconcile. Maybe they just want to talk and make amends, because
Clearing
your
up those
energies
pieces.
obviously are calling to each other. And it's a lot of manifestations. It's a lot of trying to call in like someone for clarity. And if you've been asking the universe for it, that might be what's shifting.
Yeah.
And just
That's a major
understanding,
shift.
like, you know, what happened, you know, get your side of the story. There's enough time that's passed. It might have been a few years or just a few months, doesn't matter, but it's enough to cool off and kind of recalibrate. Because if this person's really divinely meant for you and you are meant to be together, it's always yours. And yeah, you need to see beyond the illusions, because you are transforming. You have a different transformated mindset of things, and it was divinely guided to get there. And that was hella hard to do. Yeah, right. It's finally like your third eye activated, and you feel a little more bliss and happiness in yourself, and it's trying to achieve the self-confidence.
Is that 20?
It's XX, and then I got 5. So this came out again, and it was like the 5 of Pentacles, the feeling of the outsider, but the lock is unlocked. And it's something that was from the past that made you, and this might not necessarily be fully childhood wound, but it is childhood triggered. It's something you might have healed or thought you did complete healing, but it's coming up again because of that feeling of abandoned people you entrusted. And it's like,
Maybe you're doing shadow work right now.
Yeah.
Because a lot of past childhood stuff can come up with shadow work. So if that's something
and that
you're
can be
working
people
on.
that made you feel nurtured and childlike, and they had made you feel left out in the cold. Maybe someone cut you off in communication. There was no talking. There was all of a sudden blocking whatever, and it made you feel so wounded, like when you were hurt and left alone. And it really crossed the line with you, but it was really it wasn't to harm you. It might have been just because that energy needed to separate for a while, and that you needed that break too, because we have sharing in reverse. Someone was taking more than giving, and this could be you or them, it doesn't matter. In with the sunflowers, the passion fruit, grapes, and the candle, it's all saying it's spiritually trying to nurture you back into a spiritual, well-balanced being that you're meant to be, because you're empathic, you're very strong, intuitive, and no one's really encouraged you of that, because maybe it wasn't just accessible at the time when you were discovering this about yourself, of information sources or YouTube, you know, like a lot of us grew up not knowing the significance of spirituality, and it just sounds like a bunch of BS. But this person's discovered that that's not the case at all, and you're not left out. This person, it feels like both are in a really strong, like, spiritual journey, whoever the opposite person is, or the one, either one, not in contact. It's meant to be a spiritual journey. So what'd you get?
So on this path, a few things that you should be paying attention to is that, you know, there's always the diamond in the rough. There's this beautiful statue that's being carved out in this card, and you see the stones that's behind them. Those stones are nothing but stone until they carve this statue. So there's things that can come out of absolutely nothing. So along your journey, make sure that you're really paying attention to it, because we also had 5 of Swords. So you see how they're kind of dancing around in the palm of your hand. Had it come out this way, it would be a good thing. But since it came out this way, that means you're kind of denying the parts of you that are out there. You really got to lean into it. Take part in your creative side. This is getting back to that form of creativity, whatever that creative side was, to be able to get that carved away and get that piece back the way you want it to be. On your spiritual journey, you really need to think about the fact that even a simple stone can be carved into a beautiful statue. Just because you feel like you're not where you need to be, or you feel like maybe it's not going the way that you want it to go, doesn't mean that if you put the time and effort in, that it won't come into fruition. You have to allow that to come forward. You have to give it the time.
Cards to follow up this fire like reading. So turning in, this is saying it's time to really rest, reflect. It's kind of like the 4 of Swords. You need to have the reflection, and it's healing energy, and it's like the letting everything flow as they should. And you are willing to do this because you need to. And ultimately, you're going to have a new beginning. The Fool, the trust, and knowing that you will be caught, and you're free to just dive into a new energy of just divine bliss. It's going into your Sun card, like your true, like, aligned self, because you've gone through enough energetic bullshit by now.
You've packed the parachute this time. You're jumping out, but you've packed the parachute.
Because it's time to embrace your own true innocence, and, like, find the true innocence within yourself. And it's like the Judgment card and Justice card, you know, it's like you can prove your worth by being you and loving what your journey is, even if it's difficult. It just means, like, you're kind of becoming a master. And with the praying mantis, they are defensive creatures. They're very beautiful. They're very smart and very cunning, and they know how to get their prey for the next meal to survive. And you're understanding that you only need what you need on this journey, because later on when we pass on, we're not taking any of this with us when we go. It's just us and our energy. That's it. It's our spirit, our soul, our whole being is like, this meat body is not going to last forever. But it's saying, you know, the innocence behind it is go for that happy bliss, because it's talking about love. It's talking about the embracing of the next phase of being you and breaking things that you were groomed and traditionally thought was meant to be. Turned out their thought and perspective was right for them, not you.
Man, sometimes it gets real deep.
Right. Way to make it personal, spirit.
But, I mean, that's what happens when we ask about a spiritual journey. How much deeper can you really get when it comes to a question?
That's a couple of witches to do tarot reading in the woods. All right, guys, thanks for joining the channel, and I hope this helped you guys. And comment below how this resided, and lots of love and light. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Ding. And so you can get more updates of more new videos and new content that we are going to do, because we are now able to make more time for you and these awesome videos. So lots of love and light. Stay well, stay safe and healthy, guys. Bye.
Blessed be.